Just yours. Just trying to make sure it has enough.
Fancy.
Is it okay? Yeah, all right. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. And by the way, my name is Israel, aka King Izzy. This is,
Urissa.
and this is the first episode of Ask Izzy. So, continuing the conversation that we started in the book signing and the seminar about obtaining better mental health. So, in these segments of Ask Izzy, I will be interviewed by pretty much anybody that wants to interview me, and discuss, the book as well as any questions you have about obtaining better mental health or anything pertaining to life, marriage, work, drugs, sex, anything, like literally anything. But the whole point is for us to all come together in providing solutions to obtaining better mental health. This is something that we all deal with on a daily basis. We all go through the ups and downs of life, and it pays to, just to talk, just to be able to actually, vent and express what it is you're going through. So, not to waste too much time, but I will hand the floor over to Miss Urissa, and she will do her best to, ask me some interview style questions. I did give her some time to prepare questions, but but so without any further ado, Miss Urissa.
So I'm gonna start off by asking you,
Mm-hmm.
what is your definition of mental health? Because there are definitely different definitions. There's different aspects.
Mm-hmm.
There's different levels. There's different ethnicities and races involved, and there's differences in how they cope with them. Like, where do you think, as a man of your race, your ethnicity, what do you think mental health is?
Okay, well, for me, just basically, mental health is the condition of your mind. It's your present state of mind. Each and every day you wake up, your present state of mind. Not what you the way you were yesterday in the past, not what you plan to be in the future, but your present current state of mind. And it does evolve and change over time, in the
Yes.
course of our life. So the idea, the idea and the goal is to have balanced mental health. Is to have a healthy state of mind, to be able to function normally in society without being overburdened by, your thoughts. Like, again, we're human. We go through the ups and downs of life, just being human, whether we're black, white, Mexican, Arab, man, woman, rich, poor, whatever. We all go through the ups and downs of life, but our mental health boils down to how we allow it to affect us.
Right.
Do we allow it to make us better, or do we allow it to entrap us,
Swallow us.
right, and make us prisoners of depression, of anxiety, what have you? So at the end of the day, we all, in order for any society to function properly, everybody has to do their part, you know. So we all have a job to do, whether you running behind a garbage truck, serving in a restaurant, working at a news station, whatever. The fact is, in order for you to effectively do your job and for our society to function effectively, everybody has to have a healthy mindset.
Okay.
And so,
So let me ask you this. Um, Pre-pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
I feel, in my opinion, um, there were people who were suffering in silence, more so than they are now. Okay, so now we have the pandemic hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's at work.
Right.
Everything's shut down. There's women at home with children who are used to bringing their children to school. Schools are not healthy, up to code. Everybody's sick. What do you think was the most troubling time? Do you think it was pre-pandemic or during the pandemic?
Uh, I think pre-pandemic, simply because it was just the way things have always been. The only thing the pandemic did was bring everything to light.
Right.
If you had relationships or marriage problems, the pandemic brought it to light. Being trapped in a house with a person, 23 hours a day. So
Yeah.
the only thing the pandemic did was bring out the reality, that everybody, like it caused people to be isolated and look at themselves.
Right.
And that's one of the main things that people fear, but we're evolving, we're getting better. We're all getting better. We're all trying our hardest, but the main thing that the average human being fears is being left alone with their thoughts.
Coming to terms with it.
That's it.
The
And
reality of it.
right. So to answer your question, I believe, the only thing the pandemic did was just bring everything to light. Right.
I just, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I have there's been times where I've hidden behind a smile at work,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming home,
Right.
and it's just like the walls are just,
Right.
it's real tight. Everything's small. There's
Mm-hmm.
no room for breathing. It's like struggling. And you get up, you go to work, you do the same thing, you come home. It's like
Right. And is this pre-pandemic or during the pandemic?
this is during the pandemic and now.
Okay.
Now it seems like it's harder.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've realized and come to the terms that yes, maybe there is some issues there that I need to work on. Losing people, going through grief, or attempting to go through grief.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now I'm questioning myself. Like maybe it's not really there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because I'm just trying not to have to deal with it at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier that way. But now I realize that it's actually way more difficult
Mm-hmm.
because when it comes to surface, there's no control over how your body will take it and how it will release it and when it will release it, whether it's at home, at work, at the grocery store, like
Mm-hmm. True.
crazy.
So to go back to solutions, one of the solutions that I find too, maintaining, a healthy state of mind is, balance is key. You have to have balance. The brother you all remember, brother Ryan King, he in the book signing in the seminar, he spoke. And one of the things he said, one of the things he brought home to me was being face to face with our dark side. I want to say it was a well-known psychologist by the name of Carl Jung that taught us to accept and embrace our dark side. Not to bury it, not to write it off as being taboo, but to embrace our dark side simply because it's still you.
Right.
And I think this is where depression mainly comes in at. Because and I remember in an interview, Jim Carrey said this, the comedian Jim Carrey, the actor. He said, when you look at the word depression, it is deep rest.
Right.
So a lot of times it's the weariness of that dark side that you don't allow to come out. It's telling you, look, like I want to play too. I want some light too. If you're familiar with the movie Split, that's a very powerful movie. If people who had a chance to see it, but the main character, his different personalities constantly fought with each other for control of the light.
Right.
And so the one of the main solutions to overcoming depression is allowing all of you to surface. Not just waiting to get into a quiet dark space and just let the animal out, but it pays to have people in your life that are comfortable with seeing your dark side.
Right.
You have to have people in your life that are comfortable with seeing your good, your bad, and your ugly. And it's true. And if you don't have that, then that's where depression comes in. But this is the key. It's no excuse as to why you shouldn't have that. And I'll say this: the reason being, if it's nothing else that we have an overabundance of in this world, is people. you know, I mean, we can have shortages of money, shortages of food supplies, but it's never a shortage of people. So but it requires you coming out of your comfort zone and opening up to people.
Which can be difficult.
It is. But okay, going back to one of my other solutions I spoke about before, another key in overcoming depression and anxiety is helping others. It's when you find yourself, being faced with a wave of depression is, about to hit you, and or you feel anxiety creeping up on you, the first thing you should do is think about, okay, who has it worse than me?
Right.
Who has more of a right to be depressed? Who has more of a right to be anxious? And if it's somebody that in your life, even if it's somebody that you may not have, contact with, find somebody in a worse condition than you and uplift them. And right, and in doing that, you're able to heal yourself while helping them heal.
I never thought about it like that. And I consider myself a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
Which can be bad and good.
True.
But um I get so, I say I'm speaking for myself and those who are, I guess, can relate.
Mm-hmm.
We get so entrapped into this, I can't fix it. Why does it keep happening? I can't fix it, but I can fix it for other people. But why can't I fix it for myself? Like, why is that? Like, why can't I take what I'm expressing to other people? Why can't I take the advice that I'm giving to other people, the words of encouragement, the soft blessings, the soft prayers? Like, why can't I turn that and flip that and do that for myself? Does that make me more in my head than I already am? Because now I'm digging deeper. I'm like, okay, so I've literally just helped talk this man off of a cliff. And I come home and I'm not on my cliff, but I'm climbing it up. I'm climbing it up.
Right.
And I'm like, I literally just helped a person in such a much worse scenario. And I feel guilty because, not guilty, I feel like I'm not even, I feel like I'm lying. Because I just sat there and I just told this person A, B, C, D, and I come home and I can't even trust myself enough to take my own advice. Because it's easier for me to tell you or tell someone who's going through it, like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna take this way out. Let's try something else. But a person who is depressed or suffers from anxiety or is bipolar or has difficult times, like going through the holidays. It's like, okay, I'm telling you all these things to cope, but I'm also one of those people. So why can't I follow my own direction?
Okay, so to kind of answer what you're saying, for one of the some of the main people that suffer with mental health issues are psychologists.
Yes.
Are people that it is their duty to counsel others. Those are some of the most depressed and anxious people. But keep in mind that we all hear this saying often. Is levels to it, and it's true. In life, it is levels to it. So we all have enough energy in us to get us through each and every day. Like once we overstep that boundary, our body will let us know, hey, I need rest. So in the course of our day of helping others, we're sharing some of what we have. We're sharing some of our love, our wisdom, just our energy, our time. And most of the times, that feeling of depression and anxiety comes over a person that is a people pleaser, is that they've given so much away to everybody else. Right. And quick, quick scenario, just to bring some humor to it. I remember my baby sister, when she was young, like when she was about 3 years old, she would have a bag of candy or a bag of chips, and she would just walk around, offering everybody some. And once, that's just her heart. And after everybody she done shared it, she look at the bag and see that left. She just start crying.
Oh no!
And it was the sweetest thing to see, but just to see that, and she's still that way now as an adult. It's just but it taught me something at a young age. Me seeing that was that a person that is a people pleaser, a leader that goes out of their way to make sure that other people are okay. Most of the times they're not okay.
Right.
And the act of doing that to make sure that others are okay comes from knowing how that feels.
Right.
The true definition of empathy. You hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm an empath." Okay, if you're an empath, you should be. It's not about just feeling what another person is going through, but
understand it.
right. And when you understand how that feels, you don't want the next person to go through that. So you're going to go to whatever extent to make sure, not saying that you can fix a person's situation, but at least provide them with the necessary tools to where they don't have to, suffer what you suffer. So not to get ahead of myself, but the solution is, again, it is levels to it. Make sure you have that person to unload you.
Right.
Like even me myself, like I'm human. I could do all this, talking and giving good advice. I need that person or those people, y'all, whether y'all know it or not, y'all are helping me out, helping Miss Sharissa out. We're helping each other out, and we all need to have that person or those people in our lives that we can unload on. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a way of re-energizing ourselves. After giving everything away to the people that look at you as a leader and take you as an example of light. You have to find that person or those people that you can go and draw energy from and draw that love and light from. And so just to go back to what you were saying about being a people pleaser, just make sure, if you are one of those people, which most of us are, make sure you have somebody or some people in your life that you can go and get that same type of energy from. And if you don't have it, find it is help out there. It is people out there that are willing to help you and accept you for you.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Well, let me just say this. The people pleasing. Okay. I feel like in a way everyone is some sort of a people pleaser.
Right.
We people please for family. We people please for work. We people please for job interviews. We people
True.
please for going to the grocery store. getting our driver's license,
Sure.
and there's that one side where it's just like, all right, I'm about to unplug
Mm-hmm.
and I'm about to plug everything I have into this person because
Mm-hmm.
they need it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, what happens when you've unplugged all of you into someone else? Your battery's completely dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then they too then unplug, and then those people unplug. Okay, well, where does the restoration come from?
That is an excellent point. That is an excellent point. Okay, y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? You ready for this? Nisha, you ready for this? That's the little puppy over there. So, you know, prayer. Again, remember when I said there's levels to it, like prayer. The being and the person that's in control of everything, the source of love and strength and energy is our creator. So that is the ultimate source that we all need to draw from, in order to be able to help each other. So prayer is very vital and critical in having a healthy mindset. Like I can't stress that enough. Regardless of how you pray, regardless of what you address
Who
our
you pray
creator
to?
as, just make sure you pray. Like it's so beneficial to maintaining, a healthy mind. Like that he in our creator, the creator who created all of us. We can all agree upon that at least. That we're all created in this one creator. So that's where we go and ultimately draw our energy and love and life from, And at the end of the day, without him, without the creator, nothing exists. So as long as, I mean, even our ancestors, our elders, we grew up them telling us, keep God first, and it's true. As long as we make everything in our life centered around our creator, you can't go wrong. Not that's not saying that everything your problems just solved.
Yeah.
Trust me. Trust me, listen.
No,
Listen.
that ain't it.
Right. We're gonna keep it all the way 100. You could be praying and praying for hours,
Days.
and still, right the next day lose it. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is something that has to be consistent. Like aside from what most of us were taught, don't just pray just when, just to ask for things,
Right.
but, make it a ritual, make it a habit every single day, because in the state of prayer, when a human being is in connection and in contact with the creator, we transcend this body. We transcend problems, anxieties, depression. So make it something that's ritualistic.
You got me there.
But the point, the goal in all of this is for all of us to develop, a healthy state of mind. This is a collective thing. For those of you at home watching, this, is one of the first episodes of what we call Ask Izzy, where if you're interested, you can, purchase a copy of the book, contact me for an interview where you can actually interview me live and ask me whatever it is you want to ask me, whatever. And the goal is just, that will bring all of us together as a community and help all of us help each other.
That's what we need.
That's it. As you see in her hand, she has a copy of the book, my recent work, which is Power and Mind Persuasion. And if you can, I mean, this book will change your life. It will transform you and help you become the best version of yourself. And this is not me just selling the book for the sake of, trying to make money. No, it was so therapeutic and helpful for me writing it, and I know it's gonna be the same for those of you who read it.
Let me just give you just a little excerpt here.
Mm-hmm.
This is focusing on the mind. It says, our minds are who we are. our beliefs, our traditions, our childhood experiences, as well as our traumas,
True.
our relationships, our desires, our goals, and dreams. It is the essence of who we are and who we project the world, whether it is accepted or rejected. Each and every day we exist, we constantly add to our minds by the things we read, the programs we watch, the music we listen to, the places we go, and the people that we associate ourselves with. In understanding this, we program our minds to become the person or image we see ourselves as. Most of us, starting from the age of childhood, have an image in our minds of our future selves. Once we become our future self, we begin to see another future self, and then another, and then another. This is growth and evolution. Our minds continue to do this for as long as we exist here. And some could argue that this phenomenon is what carries us over into our existence beyond this physical world as we know it. That is in this book.
Power and mind persuasion. So that was a very and this is by no means to sound self-serving, but that was a very powerful, excerpt you read, and simply because the key the key to surviving this life is to go forward at all times. Go forward at all times. Like allow your mindset. I'm pretty sure if any of you have ever taken college courses, they have what's called the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. Allow your mind to remain in a growth mindset. Like, don't limit yourself. Don't put limitations on yourself. Allow yourself to constantly grow and learn and go forward in life. It's amazing the things we're capable of doing as human beings when we don't put limitations on ourselves. So just go forward at all times. Right now, one of the main things we see in our society are like it seems almost as though it was a myth. You remember, like back in the day when we heard about, the marriages and relationships our grandparents had. It's like, what the hell? Like, what happened?
Where is that? I don't know what that's at.
Right. So that's another big cause in depression and anxiety is relationship and marriage issues in this current society. So you know it's no let me say this. There's no point in us complaining or trying to go backwards, but to go forward, we use what it is that we have and get the good out of it, and go forward and build better relationships. And the key in doing that, is talking, is doing exactly what we're doing right now, just communicating. Also, I need to sign your copy. You have a pen?
I do.
Awesome,
I don't
awesome.
know where it's at though. It's somewhere. It's
And
somewhere.
normally, okay,
It's
cool.
somewhere. I don't know. It's somewhere. We'll find it.
Okay, I'll sign a copy later. But if you want your copy signed, go and order the book Power and Mind Persuasion. You can order it on Kindle or Amazon. Kindle, the ebook is $9.99. From Amazon is $19.99. And if you want your book autographed, all you have to do is contact me in my DM. And if you also want to interview me and ask me whatever it is you want to ask me, just contact me. So, you know, again, we hope that somebody is helped from this. Were you helped from this?
I
I was definitely helped. I was helped. Because driving over here, I was anxious. Like it was so much rain, and
Yes.
I thought, I
It's
was
not a good idea.
right.
No.
But right. So ultimately, that's what we're here for. We as human beings, we're social creatures. We're here to help each other. Let us use social media
Mm.
for the good. Let us use it to help each other,
In
to
other
help
ways.
heal. Right.
In other ways.
Right.
You see a lot of displaying of the bad, the fighting, the killing, the shooting, the
Right.
just all the extra stuff, and then you scrolling every other page is somebody's dying. We caught somebody doing this, blah blah blah. You get trapped into this hole, and it's just like
Right.
this is all I see. So that I
Right.
feel like this is all I know.
Right. So solution time. Solution. You ready? Solution. I'm serious because we live in a world to where we talk about the problems a lot. Back like I was joking with my father about this the other day. When I was younger, I never understood why they had so many awareness months, cancer awareness, HIV awareness, autism or just awareness. I'm like, what good is awareness for a disease? Then it hit me one day as I got older. That's the key to defeating any enemy is being aware. When you're aware, you know what to expect. If you're aware that there's a pothole while you're driving down the street, you know to drive around it. So
Right.
awareness is key, and one of the main solutions is getting everybody involved in this. Like doing a good deed is so therapeutic for your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So when you involve people in your good deeds, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to involve everybody in this. Everybody in some way, shape, or form to be involved in this. And that little bit, just watch the progress we see in social media, in our daily lives, in our family lives. It's just
Gotta start.
right. It starts with doing exactly what we're doing right here, including each other, including everybody, and doing something positive. So the floor back at you. Any more questions or comments or
Anybody have any questions?
any questions? Let's see.
Hey, Larissa, girl.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Hold on.
There's Nietzsche.
Okay, hey, I see Lala, which is better known as Lakeisha. What advice would you give to someone who's dealing with a loved one that has mental health issues? Wow, that's very important. Good question, Miss Lala.
So,
Mhm.
a person in your family has mental health. We don't have to talk about the specifics of it.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing you can do with people who have mental health, whether it be bipolar
Right.
or schizophrenia, some of those things, there's medications that can be controlled by that. But I think the most two important things that you can do
Mm-hmm.
with people who are suffering, and it just seems like it's endless. And I feel like just the patience is so necessary.
Yes, you took.
Um,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the,
I'm getting
the
ahead of myself.
the patience is so necessary because what you tell them and what they see or what they can be hearing or what they feel is not really it's not suggested that you try to get into that with them because they're already in a position to where their mind is fixated on something specific, whether it be a certain color that's triggering them or a certain noise or eating something that reminds them of something that happened. You don't have to do anything as far as coming outside of yourself, but the most important thing is to just be patient. Take the time, wind down with them, sit on the floor if they fall on the floor with them, crawl on the floor if they're crawling on the floor with them, hold a pillow if they're holding a pillow. Just
Right.
be that person for them.
Right.
Because right now they can't see, they're not listening to any advice. There's no, I need you to calm down, because right now they probably can't. You can't do that. It's only going to muster up more and more. The anxieties, the depressions, the state that they're in is just going to go stronger and stronger. And you'll end up fighting you and that person, and then it's an ultimate loss altogether.
Wow. Like, listen, that was what she said was so powerful. And if I can just elaborate on it, that was a great question, by the way, Lakeisha. uh, is patience, being patient and lenient with a person, like overcome evil with good. And it's not saying that that person is evil. It's not even saying that what they're feeling is evil. But the fact is, it's not normal.
Right.
So, but you overcome it with what you know to be normal, with patience, with love. So, like that's a good point you made. I've done that in the past before when dealing with people that I know that go through, you know, episodes
Right.
like that. If you're gonna jump on the floor and scream, I'm gonna jump on the floor right with you and scream. It's
Scream it out.
right, but you know what it does is that it makes the person feel that hey, I'm not alone,
Yes,
and that little bit of connection and love makes a world of difference. You know, it allows that person to going back to the psychologist Carl Jung, we all our dark side needs a playpen. It needs an arena to be free. So the more a person that goes through those episodes, if they're so used to people trying to beat them down or hold them or put them off in a room or shove pills down their throat, what they really and truly need is just an arena to where that episode of whatever it is they're experiencing, right, just let them go through it, just let them experience it, you experience it with them, and then afterwards we go back to normal. But I hope that answered your question. The key thing it's just patience. Patience, just being patient with, try and be patient with everybody, but especially those of your loved ones and your family that have mental health issues. Just be patient and be lenient with them. They deserve it. They're worth it.
It is so. I think now there's so many more platforms than there used to be for people of color, people of different races and ethnicities. There's not so much judgment um, when it comes to being diagnosed with some sort of mental health issue.
Right.
I there were so many times where I was just not about to commit to the fact that maybe, because it was a strong maybe, maybe I fell into that category of having a mental health illness,
Right.
depression, anxiety, bottling up emotions. Um, Maybe if I did something different, it wouldn't feel as bad.
Right.
Or maybe if I pretended to be someone else, but that someone else got tired, and then I ended up fighting the person who needed the most help, and causing myself so much more of an issue. And it is difficult. It's difficult to come to terms with the fact that you may be suffering. But I just feel like there's so many bad things that people see. Um, children, children, they see a lot now. They have access to the internet,
Right.
access to all kinds of TikTok, right. Just all the stuff we didn't have,
Right.
And it's just I don't. I kind of fear for them. They have access to artillery, guns, right. Drugs.
Right.
Um, these people are dying younger and younger and younger. Right. I recently lost a couple of people in my life. Some were different situations, but one of them specifically was mental illness. He was just tired. That was the word he used, which is a word people use often.
Right.
Instead of I'm depressed.
Right.
I'm tired. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm just tired.
Right.
Well, did you get some rest? No.
Right.
No, I'm just tired. And so I've learned now that when I ask people that, I kind of just give them a little wiggle room because I don't want to jump right into it because it's like maybe that's not for me. Like
Right.
maybe that's not for me to ask.
Right.
I don't want to set them off, but it's like for the people who are tired,
Mhm.
it's completely normal to be tired.
Right. Right.
You shouldn't feel like you have to hide. If you do feel like you can't talk to anyone because you're embarrassed, maybe write it down, rip it up, throw it away.
Right.
At least it's some sort of an outlet.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like people of color are tired.
Right.
Women tired. Men tired. Young men tired.
Right.
Young women tired. And it's hard. I'm not a parent, but I have a lot of friends who are, and most of my friends have kids who are on the autism spectrum, kids who are wanting to change themselves because of society. Um, I don't think it's fair to these children to have these people who are taught
Mhm.
in the homes
Mhm.
like this is what's right, this is what's wrong. If you have friends at school like this, you can't be friends with them. I feel like that is scary.
Right.
School is it's supposed to be one of your safe places besides home being your
Right.
priority. And you go to school every day and there's people teasing you. If you don't do this, you're not cool. We now have social media, people recording the fights, and
Mhm.
just it's being plastered everywhere.
Right.
And mental health is just there's nothing wrong with fixing it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with needing to fix it.
Right. Right. And so, not to if I can interject a little, the solution, going back to the solution is this is not a Izzy problem, a Urissa problem, a Lakeisha problem. It's not no one person. This is a we problem. So we are the solution. If there's one thing you learn about the human being is that we are our own problems and our own solutions. We have the answers to our own questions. So if if we are the problem, social media, everything that's going on, the access that we have to pretty much everything, we are the solution. And it starts with exactly what I mentioned earlier, us coming together. Like I can't stress this enough, but we as a human species, we explored outer space. Right now, we're talking on a piece of plastic. I mean, I couldn't tell you how to construct a phone. I'm serious, or technology that you could talk to somebody on the other side of the planet. But the fact is, we have all of these amazing things that human beings, the human mind, constructed. So I won't even use the term why is it that we can't. I know we can. All we have to do is pull together and use that same energy and focus it inwardly on each other. Let's heal each other. We listen, for the longest, I thought it was impossible. Again, the things that we now have, cell phones, rocket ships, nuclear weapons, was considered impossible centuries ago. So having, eliminating, or let me just say this to start off small, drastically decreasing suicides, drastically decreasing bullying, drastically decreasing, mass murders and just random acts of violence, drastically decreasing that, we're capable of doing it and we are going to do it. It starts with us actually doing what we're doing right now, involving each other, interacting with each other in pulling together to do something positive. The power in our words. Our words are very powerful. Like we do it in every aspect of life. If things aren't favorable to us, we speak over it.
Right.
If you get in a verbal altercation with a coworker and she tell you she gonna do this, you say, "Oh, I wish you would." You ain't gonna. You know what I'm saying? You get into that mode to where your your bravery and your certainty takes over to where you like, no, you're not going to do. So it's the same thing on a larger scale with us as a society. We have the power to speak over exactly what's happening. Like, rather than me again constantly harping on, the problems and causes, like, again, we do have to address it because it's real. But the fact is, we focus our energy and our time on solutions and actually seeing that we are capable. Whatever you focus your energy and time towards, that is what will be magnified. When you choose to see the good in a person, that person will be good. If you see the flaws in a person, not most of the times the flaws that we see in people are the flaws we see in ourselves. So, but when you train yourself and force yourself to see the good in yourself, see the good in every single human being, everything in your life will drastically change. Everything in this world will drastically change. Just force yourself to see the good in everything. Going back to what Miss Yarissa said, patience. Patience. So, aside from, just the loved one in your family with mental health issues, you know, really and truly, you look at it, we all got mental health issues. All of us messed up in some way, shape, or form. This life does not leave any of us unaffected or untraumatized. So, with that being said, we do have the power to force ourselves to see the good in everybody. Always remember, none of us asked to be born. None of us asked to be here. None of us chose our race. None of us chose our gender. None of us chose our upbringing. But we're here. So let's all give each other some credit for trying to just make sense of this
Yes.
whole life. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. But hopefully somebody was helped, and again, if you're interested in go and get a copy of the book, it's very powerful. It will transform your life, transform your marriage, transform your finances. It will transform everything about you. Simply because this is everything that we're talking about right now is in that book. Power and Mind Persuasion by yours truly, Israel, aka King Izzy. I thank you, Miss Yarissa, for the interview and questions, and I'm glad we were able to sit down and have this conversation and help each other out. So we're signing off for the first episode of Ask Izzy.
Bye.
Make sure you save it, archive it. The other day I did this at